My favorite thing to watch on TV has pretty much always been the Food Network. After a long, stressful day, nothing is better than just sitting back and zoning out to some random lady telling you how she makes her potatoes. It's not something you have to think about, just movement on a screen, perfect for relaxing. But I can't bring myself to watch anything on the Food Network anymore, not after what I saw. It started as a normal cooking show, almost like a Walmart brand Rachel Ray, called Cooking with Carolyn. This middle-aged, brown-haired, blue-eyed white lady was just standing in a set kitchen, detailing how to properly prepare authentic homemade stew. I was flipping through various social medias on my phone, catching every third word or so, and Carolyn was just about halfway through making the stew, just getting around to throwing everything together. That's when stuff got weird. Carolyn chimed in with her middle-aged TV narrator voice, but this time it was laced with fear.
And this is when all of you need to pay really close attention.
I glanced up, a little off-put by the sudden change in tone. I looked up to find her staring right into the camera. Now, it's not abnormal for Food Network hosts to look into the camera, especially when talking to the audience. But Carolyn wasn't looking. She was staring. Her blue eyes wide, her pupils dilated, her smile stretching so far it was almost impossible. It was like a funhouse mirror. Her smile stretched and warped the proportions of her face. It was incredibly forced. Her eyes were the biggest warning sign. They were bulging, like they were about to pop out of their sockets, and they were shining with tears. Despite this fearful and frightening appearance, Carolyn's voice never wavered. It was definitely tinged with fear, but it never cracked, stuttered, or stopped. She went on.
Now all you audience members reach under your chairs and tell me what you find.
There were a few moments of silence as the camera panned across the studio audience, rummaging under their chairs. They all raised their hands at once, the objects shining in the studio lights, as everyone in the audience cried, "A knife!"
That's right.
Carolyn chirped as she held up her own sparkling blade.
Now I hope you all remember what you need to do.
She continued, and held the blade to her forearm.
Follow your example,
the audience yelled back, and all copied her movements. I sat in my chair, eyes glued to the screen, completely horrified but unable to look away. The terrified host continued to slide the blade down her arm, her blood dripping down and into a big pot. The audience did the same, cutting their arms and bleeding into cups that they all had at their seats. Then one by one, they filed by, emptying their blood cups into the pot, along with their host. I thought they were being forced to do this, but then I noticed each one had the very same impossibly wide smile, and every so often the microphone would pick up someone whispering,
"It's finally time."
"Is he really coming?" My mind raced to find any possible explanation of why this was happening. Was this a comedy sketch? Was it even really happening? I found my answer soon, as the audience all joined hands in a circle around the pot, chanting in some language that I didn't understand. The chanting got louder and louder, to the point where I had to cover my ears. I tried muting the TV, but the chants continued. Then suddenly, a giant clawed hand burst out of the pot, grabbing onto the rim like it was climbing out. The audience fell silent, watching as the hand began to flex, pulling whatever it was attached to up and out of it. I was entranced. I couldn't pull my eyes away from the screen, even though every fiber in my brain was screaming to change the channel. Carolyn finally broke her gaze to look into the camera, somehow smiling even wider, and simply said,
"He is here."
The screen snapped to static and pulled me out of my trance with it. I instantly shut off the TV, not knowing what to believe. After sitting in my chair for about half an hour trying to slow down my racing heart, I did some research to see if I could find anything out about Carolyn. I couldn't find a single thing. It wasn't on the Food Network's list of shows. Carolyn wasn't on any list of chefs from restaurants, and the actress who played her wasn't coming up anywhere. I don't know if the show was even real. I don't know who Carolyn is, and I definitely don't know who he is, but I'm not really sure that I want to. So if you guys happen to come across a show called Cooking with Carolyn, don't watch it. Hey guys and ladies, thanks for watching. Send your story or creepypasta to the email in the description or on the screen right now. My Patreon, shirts, Instagram, and Twitter are down in the description. Be good to animals, even people. Sit.
Scout, Snamok, Barksbus, Herish.
Today is my mom's birthday. So if you're listening, happy birthday, Ma. I love you. My mom used to cook shit like... My mom used to cook the same shit Carolyn did. Basically blood. You know, it was either blood or 2 hot dogs cut in half on some bread like a sandwich.